Hey y'all, and welcome to Politi-Brawl. My name is Brian, and Gavin Newsom tries to go toe-to-toe with Ron DeSantis, and ultimately, DeSantis puts him right in the dumpster.
It's the birthplace of life science and biotech and nanotechnology. We dominate in green tech. We dominate in high tech. We dominate in artificial intelligence. So with respect, I think it's an interesting campaign strategy for Ron DeSantis to be bashing a state of 40 million Americans when California simply has no peers.
Well, that's a pretty slick way of not answering your question. He went on a binge of putting out a lot of left-wing platitudes. Here's what I would say. I talked to a lot of the people that have moved from California to Florida, and we never used to get people from California to Florida or really anywhere in these, because why would you leave California? It's got the best weather, great natural forces. Excuse me, sir. But one of the things that I did, I was talking to a gentleman, a couple.
Guys, I'm going to let the debate breathe. But it's his turn. Let's take turns.
So I was talking to a fella who had made the move from California to Florida, and he was telling me that Florida is much better governed, safer, better budget, lower taxes, all this stuff. And he was really happy with the quality of life. And then he paused and he said, by the way, I'm Gavin Newsom's father-in-law. So we do count Gavin's in-laws as some of the people that have fled California and come to the state of Florida. And why are we getting people to come? We have a 50-year low in the crime rate. You don't see, in the last 10 years, we've had a 45% decline in homelessness. California's had a 45% increase in homelessness. We back the blue. I was walking the streets of San Francisco a couple months ago, and I had some of the cops in San Francisco do a beeline to come over to me, and I didn't know what they were going to say. And they're like, we want to thank you for standing for law enforcement, because we don't get that support in the state of California. So people understand quality of life matters. They understand that Florida's doing it right. And I can tell you the numbers speak for themselves. We have way more people moving to this state than leaving. Gavin can't say the opposite. More people are leaving California than are moving into California.
Let me bring up
coming to California the other way around the last 2 years. But let's talk about crime.
Governor, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
He said a lot of things that were factually untrue, including that 50-year crime low, which his own law enforcement team said you should not be using.
You have yet to address the issue, but I asked you twice. You don't want to answer it. But the issue of why the migration out of red states, out of blue states.
We just established more Floridians coming to California in the last 2 years than the
overall,
other.
You had a net loss of 7.
Establish it.
It's a fact.
Just asserted it.
It's a fact.
No, it's not a fact.
It is a fact.
Moving on.
Oh boy, where do I begin? Well, first off, Gavin Newsom towers over the competition, and pretty much only in stature. Definitely not in substance, as Newsom refused to really own up to the fact that California is slowly failing. Why is it failing? Well, it's not because its economy sucks. Far from it. If you look only at GDP, California is a juggernaut, right? Yeah, well, only if you look at GDP. Underneath, you lift the veil, you see what's under the log that you just lifted, that you found in the woods, and you're going to see all the worms, all the muck, all the terrible things that lie underneath. And you're going to understand very quickly that California, despite being a beautiful state, has an ugly apparatus. Y'all, times are rough. Record inflation is still not under control. We have a president who doesn't know what planet he's on, and the Federal Reserve continues to make dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. You can gamble on Wall Street all you want, but if you want to diversify and protect your wealth, you need to look into my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. These amazing experts understand how to keep your wealth safe and protected from the volatility of our current market. And there's even a great deal for first-time accounts. Free gold and silver-backed IRA accounts, insurance on whatever precious metals you happen to buy for 5 years, up to $7,500 worth of silver, and a nice safe for you to keep all this good stuff in. So go take a look at their website, link in the description below, or call the phone number below so you can talk personally to Paul Stone, CEO, and his amazing team of experts to protect your wealth today. The Democrats have hollowed out the middle class, basically given them the boot and told them to get out, ultimately creating a high revenue tax state, but creating a whole bunch of low revenue workers. Now, these low revenue workers are completely reliant on the high revenue workers because their taxes go to subsidize them. There is no middle class in California anymore. It's gone. And the only places that it really lasts are up in the small towns, up in the Sierra Nevada, at the edge of the Cascades. Basically, the places that you kind of go to escape during the summer and enjoy yourselves. And those middle class people can make it because of, again, the upper class enjoying all their vacations. Compare that to Florida, where their middle class is thriving, their retirement class doesn't have to worry about anything, and their upper class all goes to Miami and struts along Miami Beach. Now, Florida is not an economic powerhouse in the same way California is. Instead, Florida is a great place to live, period. Forget the hurricanes, forget the Florida man jokes, forget the swamps. Florida is a fantastic state to live. So, you're ultimately asking yourselves, would you rather have a small shot at being wealthy in California, or would you rather have a better shot at having a better life in a state like Florida? That's what this debate is all about. And Newsom can't really articulate that fully. All he can make out is, well, California's got a better economy. Okay, cool. That's it. All right, forget the national parks, forget the Sierra Nevada, forget its natural beauty for a moment. Would you rather have a shot at being wealthy in California, where you are just as likely to get a shot of a used needle by stepping on the sidewalk? Would you rather sit down in a nice building and use their properly cleaned toilets, or would you rather use the outside like half the people of San Francisco seem to do now? If your answer is you want a shot at wealth, I get it. California, go live your dream. Don't come back crying to mama 3 years later and now you're a Walmart greeter. I know 2 of these people in my personal life. Both of them can get bent. Not because they went out on their dreams. No. It's because they were delusional and thought that they were on top in California. No. They were part of a meat grinder and have never come to terms with that. That's what California will do to you, by the way. Florida, you can go down to Florida. You do it right, open a nice little business. People will patronize it. You might live on the margins for a little while, but you'll have a better chance of success. That is ultimately the argument here. Do you want success? And what does it look like to you? If success is a robust GDP, despite the fact that, you might not have power half the summer because of the way that their infrastructure works, or would you rather have a good shot at a nice home and only worry about the occasional hurricane? My bet's on Florida nearly every single time. Partially because Disney World's better than Disneyland, although that's not saying much anymore. But that's what this debate is about. It's about substance versus style. Newsom has style. He has some swag. He's got teeth whitening strips that he probably uses 10 times a day. Whereas DeSantis is a little suave, but a little awkward, a little clunky, but he's giving you substance. Take your pick and choose wisely, because that's probably going to be our fight in 2028. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And before you head out, let me know why you left California and why your state is better than California. I'm pretty sure that'll be easy. Until next time, y'all have a good one.